Hello and welcome to another mod showcase. Today I'm going to be talking about how you can make your LoD better. I'll be using my LoD as an example, but general rules will apply to all LoD edits. A LoD, or level of detail, is essentially how things look at a distance. When it comes to Skyrim, the LoD is extremely basic and it loads things in slowly to not overrun the game's engine, which, let's remember, is getting on a little bit at this stage. But that doesn't mean we can't improve it and keep strong performance. With that being said, let's get into this. I'm going to be starting with my mountains. Mountains serve a few functions when it comes to LoDs. Firstly, they act as a blocker to what would be the extreme distance. They also frame your image and will be noticeable from pretty much every angle in every external area of the game. And as such, a bad file can hurt all the work you're doing at improving your image quality. I'm still using granite mountains as I find them to look great both up close and far away. But realistically, you don't have to spend out as much for this or the same effect. Other mountains such as Majestic and even Skyland also have nice LoD setups, so browse Bethesda.net for what suits your style. To get exactly my look, it will cost 114 megabytes. It is one of the more expensive options and I do suggest just checking it out. I'm going to be moving on to the landscapes and grasses, the reason I'm actually making this video. Here I'm using a combination of two mods, a greener Skyrim and green LoD noise tint. A greener Skyrim makes the landscape in the Rift and Tundra greener. This affects the close and middle distance, which I know isn't the LoD, but it perfectly suits the next mod's shade. Green LoD noise tint. This mod is a really nice change to what you see in the distance. Usually Skyrim has a brown distance that's flat, ugly and doesn't blend with anything, and a mod like this instantly changed how I viewed my game. By which I literally mean I took off my LoD blur and wasn't upset with what I saw. The reason I use this setup is to have a really nice blend of green in my field of view. As a side note, I'm using Mari's grass field all green. Any green grass mod would work though. Mojo for example would look fantastic. A greener Skyrim comes in at 71 megabytes, so it's not exactly cheap, but is doing a lot of the heavy lifting here. Luckily, Grass LoD Noise Tint Green is only 3.1 megabytes, so far more friendly. If you happen to be a fan of vanilla Skyrim's colouring, then you could save yourself a ton of space by matching the landscapes to something like Vadersbrom Light, Normal or Dense. These all come with vanilla styled LoD colouring, but a little bit nicer and further out grasses to match this. You'll also find a bunch of LoD mods specifically designed to suit certain texture overhauls, which also fix their LoD meshes. Tamriel Reloaded and Medium Born both have really nice ones, but at this stage you're spending over 300 megabytes for these single files, so I tried to find a somewhat cheaper alternative to these. However, I have to say the performance impact from those mods is outstanding, so if you have the room to burn, I highly suggest checking them out. And finally, I want to talk about some additions you can make to perfect the look. Most good tree mods will improve the LoD. For example, I'm using SFO Definitive, but you could save some space and use something like Dark Ages Trees of the North and still see improvements in the distance. It's also important to look for any additions that you make to have LoD files attached to them. Trust me, it will improve your immersion tenfold. Nothing takes you out of the fantasy quicker than walking into a wall that wasn't there 2 steps back. The downside is the cost that's associated with these kind of files, but overall I have to say it's really worthwhile. It's also worth noting that a good weather setup is crucial to bringing this look together. I'm currently using a combo of Mythical Ages, Supreme Volumetric Fog, as well as improved shadows and volumetric lighting. This makes the distance look fantastic and doesn't ruin shading closer either, which means everything is blending exactly how it should. The order I'm currently building has so much going on, but the LoD is the thing making me the most proud. I can't imagine reverting back to anything less than where I'm at right now. But on that I am going to call it. If you need any help setting up a LoD for your own style, come over to the Discord channel where myself or some of our incredibly helpful modders will be happy to help. Check the description for a link to the server. I'll also link all the mods I'm using to get my LoD, as well as some helpful resources for the community to build load orders. If this has helped, I would as always appreciate those likes, comments and subscriptions, but for now, thank you for watching and I hope to see you in the next one.